Welcome to another edition of SNU Athletics. I am Matt Shellenberger, joined by head women's basketball coach Dorris. Coach, so far as we wrapped up the first semester, let's talk about where you are right now. You're 5-6 overall, 2-3 in the conference. You won last week at Ouachita Baptist, got beat by Henderson State, but so far this season, we've seen some pretty good improvements.
We have. Obviously we'd like to have a little bit of a better record, but I feel like we're on track. We're getting better every game, especially with the youthfulness that the youthfulness and surgeons that we've had. So I think we're right where we should be.
Coach, last week, Henderson State, Angelique Sledge goes 7 for 7 from the three-point line. They shoot about 50% from the field. That's a tough place to play, obviously, but to get a win when the team's shooting 50% and she goes 7 for 7 from three, how do you stop that?
Well, obviously we'd like to have done a better job, but some of those shots you just got to tip your hat to. That's just that's a player making a play. There's 3 of those shots that we've highly contested. And so, sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the player, and sometimes that's the game of basketball. That's why there's no shutouts.
Coach, you also beat Ouachita Baptist last Thursday. How nice was it to, kind of get on a roll right there and get that win on Thursday on the road?
I think it was key. I think it was big, especially coming out after right off a break. We had 10 days off, and then just really about 2.5 days to prepare, and then to get up there and play was huge. You could tell even against Henderson State we were still a little bit rusty. So we're trying to just now getting back into the swing of things, but that's for everybody. No excuses. It was a good win for us. We did get behind, we were behind, I think 10 or 11 points at one time and rallied. And that seems to be the nature of our season right now, is we're allowing teams to get ahead of us, and we're playing from behind a lot of times, which is good at sometimes, but we need to start getting on top of these teams.
Coach, Amanada-Fall, I know we talk about her, I think, every week, it seems like, but 9 of 11 games so far this season, she has a double-double. She didn't play in one game, but then she didn't have a double-double in another game back earlier this season, but she still had like 7 and 15 or something like that. So she's had a double-double in every game except for one. Her improvements so far are obvious from last year to this year, and last year she had a great year.
Right, and she needs to continue to work hard. Her skill set is the thing about it, and I think for the frustrating thing for other teams, she can step on the floor and just get 20-10 just like that. But that's the skill set that she provides, and she needs to continue it.
Coach, Arkansas Monticello, they're going to be a tough opponent coming in. How do you prepare for them? Jordan Goforth is averaging 18.1 points per game. They've got Tamia Grady and Nikki Mullen. They're both averaging 16.9 and 13.2 points per game. They've got a lot of people scoring double figures.
They do. They're a fairly balanced offensive team, as well as multiple on defensive team. They're going to run a 3-2, a 2-3, a man, a box. They really throw everything with the kitchen sink at you. So luckily for us, during this time of year, we basically we've got all our schemes in that we need to attack those. So it's just a matter of getting in, fine-tuning some things, and going and playing.
Coach, as far as their scoring goes and how it's spread out, that kind of reminded me of you guys looking at the stats and stuff. You and Arkansas Monticello, the only 2 teams to have 3 players in the top 15 in scoring in the Great American Conference. Are they kind of similar to you guys in how they attack with scoring and stuff like that at all?
I think so. I think for us the key is we've got to get some other players going as well. We've got obviously we're attacking with 3, but we've got to be more efficient with those 3 on the offensive side and try to get some other people going as well.
Coach, Southern Arkansas comes in on Saturday. You got 2 conference games in a row, kind of at home. Obviously Thursday, Saturday. How nice is it to have those 2 games right after Christmas? Students come back. That's got to be pretty exciting.
It is, and it's I think that's what our team needs. Is we need to be at the home for a little bit. It's been almost a month since we played a home game. So it'll be nice to be in the routine confines of home in the Sawyer Center and in a nice routine. So
tomorrow night, what's the biggest key to you to try and get a victory on your home floor?
I think the biggest key for us is getting on top. Continue to play the game, sharing the basketball, rebounding, and shooting the basketball. I didn't think we shot the ball really well Saturday, so it'll be important for us to get back to shooting the basketball well.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us on SNU Athletics. We'll take a quick break and be right back with head coach Adam Bohac.
Rowing to victory requires expertise, accountability, and most of all, teamwork. That's why Kate has Tinker Federal Credit Union right there in the boat with her, helping ensure she crosses each financial finish line in first place. so she can focus on what's important. Getting a little more bling. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to SNU Athletics. I'm Matt Shellenberger, joined by head coach Adam Bohac. Coach, so far this season, 5-6. You're 3-2 in the conference. So far, as we've wrapped up the first semester, where do you think you are as a team, and how do you think you played so far?
Yeah, I think we're improving, Matt. We had a good trip out to Arkadelphia last week and had 2 games that were kind of completely different games, but in both games I thought we really stuck together and stayed the course and played fairly hard, but really stayed together. And so I feel good about the way we're moving forward.
Coach, one of the guys I want to talk about, obviously you've got C.J. Smith and Quan Connor playing really well, but L.B. Willis, just a freshman, averaging 9.2 points per game. He's very good, and he has the potential to be a very good defender as well.
Yeah, he does. And, LB played well against Henderson. It was kind of the first day, I thought, where he got off to a poor start and was able to right himself and kind of stay the course and end up with a good game. There's been some other games this year where he's played really well, and then other games where maybe he's gotten off to a poor start or something hasn't went his way and he was never able to get it back on track. And so that's a sign of maturing. That's a sign of becoming a better player. But he's almost getting us 10 points a game, and so he's having a really good freshman campaign so far.
We've got Arkansas Monticello coming in on Thursday. They're 10-2 and 8-1 in the conference. They're one of the tougher teams in the conference.
Yeah, they're really good. They've played, I think, at home 9 times, and so they've taken care of their business there. And you watch them, and they're really a completely different team than last year. I think only one player that played in our games last year will play for them. Thursday night, and so that's a credit to Coach Sharp of being able to go and get a really talented team and then blend all those guys together so quickly. They have some huge wins. They beat a really good Angelo State team before break, and then 2 good conference wins last week. And so they present a bunch of challenges for us, and we'll have to be really good tomorrow night.
They've got Brandon Wilson averaging 17.9, basically 18 points per game, and then Jared Harrison scoring 13.1 points per game. 2 guys that can really score the basketball, amongst other things. How do you kind of combat that and slow them down just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean they're really good because Wilson gets most of his stuff right at the rim, and Harrison's a guard who shoots 50% from the 3, and so they have some balance about them, and both those kids are seniors and play with really good pace and understanding. And so we'll have to be kind of multiple defensively, and we'll have to be really solid defensively to try to keep those guys down.
Coach, you've also got Southern Arkansas coming in on Saturday. 2 home games in a row in conference. How good is that to, right after break, kind of get, I know you played 2 games last week, but now you've got 2 home games in a row. How nice is that to have?
Yeah. We're fortunate in the schedule a little bit this week. Last week we're on the road, and Ouachita nor Henderson was in school, and so their students weren't at the game, and the crowds were pretty sparse. And now our kids return to school tomorrow, so hopefully we have a good student body and some energy in the gym, and we can use it to our advantage with 2 home games this week.
Tomorrow night, what's one of the biggest keys? What are some things you guys are going to have to do to get a win?
Yeah, the backboards, Matt. If we can get them to miss the first one, they're the best in the league at going and getting their own miss and putting it back in. And I think right now, we're probably near the bottom or at the bottom in terms of rebounding. And so we have to do that as a group on both ends of the floor. We need to get more offensive rebounds when we miss, and then we need to do a better job of getting the ball when we make them miss.
All right, Coach, good luck tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us on SNUathletics.com. Be sure to join us next week as we recap the Arkansas Monticello game and the Southern Arkansas game.
Being a frontwoman takes confidence, dedication, and more than a pinch of swagger. Lucky for Kim, she has Tinker Federal Credit Union on rhythm guitar. And with our mobile app helping keep her checking account in tune, she can focus on what's important. Nailing that next solo. TFCU. We get it.
Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. I'm Matt Shellenberger, joined by head track and field coach Billy Miller. Coach came off a pretty good year last year, first year in NCAA. Division II. What are some of your expectations this season for the men's and women's side?
Expectations would be mainly to finish or to begin where we started last year. We have a lot of success on both on the women's side and the men's side, and with us going into our final year of the NCAA process, with competing against the likes of Azusa Shorter this year, we'll be there on both teams, and so just to continue where we left off last year and then build from that. That would be our goal.
Coach, you return all 4 members from the 4x400 meter relay team that won the NCCA championship in indoor and outdoor. First of all, talk about winning that, and then obviously how exciting it is to have all those guys back this year.
Yes, it's very exciting when you can win indoor and then repeat outdoor. It's a big accomplishment, a tribute to Coach Lane. He's in charge of the whole entire sprint crew, and what he brings with his character, with his coaching. It really feeds off to the athletes to where it makes it an easier job for what he needs to do, and then with the rest of the team, we don't have to really watch them and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing during the breaks. They hold each other accountable and do their workouts during the breaks. During the summer, they're up here doing what they need to do during the breaks, and so when you have that accountability with the athletes and then with the coaches, it really feeds off into the other aspects of the program.
Coach, last year with that team, you had the 7th fastest time in the nation for Division II in the 4x400. You kind of covered that just a little bit, but from an excitement standpoint last year, seeing that 7th fastest time, first year in NCAA, that's pretty impressive.
It is, and there again, it's just attributes to the Coach Lane and to the whole 4x4 relay crew and the sprints, just doing the job when it's time to get done, holding each other accountable before that. And it is an exciting thing to know that they're one of the top 7 and they're young to compete, and then everybody will be back for next year indoor when we're officially Division II. And so that whole relay will be back for indoor, and then they could do something special.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
Coach, who are some people that we should keep an eye on for this season?
I would probably start on the women's side. We've got returning our senior Brooke Witt, good hurdler, CJ Hornback, and then you've got Aaliyah Nolan, Raven McDaniel, Mercedes Weaver, Lisa Childress. Just a strong group, a strong core. On the men's side, you've got the entire 4x4 coming back. You got Sterling Wright, Corey Akers, Werwan Jamo, Kentrell Miller, great leadership. And then we brought in from OBU transfer Eric Johnson, good hurdler. And then it goes down from the hurdles with DeAndre Vick. We've got some additional help with a couple guys coming in from football/track. You've got Brian Yenner, and then you've got just a few others in addition to that to help.
Like Grayson Hall, isn't some of
Well, you middle distance. If I go into middle distance now, you've got on the girls' side Megan Johnson. She didn't get to run indoor last year or outdoor. She's going to be a good addition. Andrea McKinney is a great help to that. And then on the men's side, of course, you got Grayson Halls won the national title as a freshman, which is a big challenge. And a great cross-country season. You got Andrew Leahy, Dustin Barrier came back, brought in a young man from Southwestern Christian, and he's a distance guy. And then on the throw side, you've got to look at, Jake Stevens. He's one of the top throwers in the country. He can throw anything. And with this being his junior year, we're looking for some exciting things for him. Pole vault, we brought in one of the top pole vaulters in the country, state champion, multi-state champion, Colin Pask from Norman. And then we have returning Scott Irvin and then Michael Piot. And so we're going to have a little bit of something special in each of the areas. Once again, it's just having the great coaches we have with, Coach Lane, Coach Forrester, Adam Ergenbright's now our pole vault coach. And then the student athletes just really feed in to what they're offering. Just being accountable, getting the work done, being the good student athletes we like them to be, and then when we get to the meet, just giving their best. And so we're looking forward to a great season.
Should be a great year, Coach.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us on SNUathletics.com. That's going to do it. Be sure to join us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can join us right there at SNU Athletics. Thank you very much.